Could the man who once became DC's biggest star be coming to Marvel in the near future? Stick around and find out. Hello, I'm Marvin, and I'm the Movie Monster. Deadpool and Wolverine is a wildly successful film that has become the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time. It's pulled in more than $1 billion at the global box office. And if you haven't seen it, this is your spoiler warning because we will be discussing a pretty big surprise in the film. One of the things that makes this movie so much fun is the various cameos that take place throughout. One of the biggest crowd pleasers was Henry Cavill appearing as a variant of Wolverine. Yes, the man who played Superman for DC showed up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and cut a very convincing X-Man. And with Hugh Jackman getting up there in age, many are starting to wonder if this cameo could become a regular casting in the MCU. Of course, that all sounds too good to be true. Or is it? Recent rumors out of Hollywood point to the possibility that this could be more than a simple one-off, and we're going to talk about it with just Trish today on Tooney TV. Oh, Henry Cavill, the world has not been kind to you, my friend. The world of geeks and nerds has not been kind. And I am here with our good friend, Just Trish. And she is you might not know this about Trish because most of you are just seeing her now for the second time, or possibly the first if you didn't watch our video on Snow White. But Trish is one of the biggest Henry Cavill fans on the planet, which is why she's here for this video. Now, Trish, where does your fascination and love with Henry Cavill come from? I'm sure it is everything to do with his performances, right?
I appreciate fine art, Marv. See, that's why I like him, because I like fine art. So there you go.
That's some fine art, am I right?
Well, in all seriousness, I saw him on The Tudors. So sometimes when people go, he can't act, I get a little bit like, yes, he can. I've seen it.
No, he definitely can.
So that's where it started, because I have a love of all things Tudor. So I saw him in that, and then I just kind of watched him become, well, he was Superman when I watched that, but watched him as Superman, and he does really kind of get kicked around a lot.
He does. The poor guy, like he had it in him to be an amazing Superman. And we saw in the Joss Whedon cut of Justice League, for all of its problems, facial mustache CGI related issues, for all the problems, Superman was not one of them. Joss actually understood Superman and got him right. Like when he shows up at that ending fight scene and he looks at Batman and he says, "How can I help?" I was like, oh good, Superman's here finally.
Yeah. And when he just seems a little bit more positive and upbeat.
Yep.
And I'm not like you, Marv. I don't hate Zack Snyder, but I can recognize that it.
All right, folks, this is the last you're seeing of Trish. I'm just going to make myself the only thing that you can see on the screen now. So, we're just going to do this one solo now. I'm kidding.
How rude.
Kidding. You are allowed to disagree with me.
I'm not a huge fan or anything. I just, I don't have the hatred, but I could admit it was too dark.
But then you quote Full House and you earn yourself back into my heart.
I was going to say, I just Stephanie Tannered you.
Yeah, you definitely did. Tanneritos. I have not listened to their podcast. Aaron Kim and Gibble have a podcast. I haven't heard it yet. But anyway, so he was kicked around by DC. He was brought back. The fans rejoiced, and then they let him go. And then he was Geralt of Rivia on The Witcher, did an amazing job in that first season, was kicked around in the second season, clashed with the ridiculous virtue signaling writers who hated the source material. And he was a big fan of The Witcher. So he fought for the source material a lot. He fought for the fans. Then, he left that project and they replaced him with Liam Hemsworth of all people, what a downgrade.
And I have nothing against Liam Hemsworth, but it's just kind
of Henry Cavill.
Again, exactly. Like, again, you're making me say something meaner than I would about Liam Hemsworth. Do you know what I mean? My reaction is
it's a gift.
Well, not you. You are not. But it's just, I have no problems with Liam Hemsworth. You know what I mean? But it's just, you're putting him in a really, really hard situation. It's not really, honestly, not fair to him.
No, it's not. It's not. It's going to be terrible. But anyway, then you have, the Warhammer situation where he got pushed around by the woke mob in that one. And then there was an interview where people were like, hey, How about toxic fans? Aren't fans so toxic? And he refused to play along. He was like, actually, I don't think that, fans are just passionate and they're allowed to express that passion. And then after that, Hollywood just kind of seemed done with them. One movie that was not, though, was Deadpool and Wolverine, the newest movie that hit the $1 billion club this year. Now, I know you haven't seen the movie, Trish, but you have seen the scene in question where we are introduced to Cavill.
Cavill. I laughed when I heard that. That felt very...
It was amazing.
That was pitch perfect.
Yeah. So now in the scene, Deadpool is going around from universe to universe trying to find the Wolverine. One of the ones he finds, Deadpool calls him Cavill, and it's Henry Cavill as Wolverine, and he looks fan-freaking-tastic. And since then, I think everybody was like, look, Hugh Jackman, he's no spring chicken. He's not getting any younger. Rumored to have signed for 3 movies with Marvel, but beyond that, what's going to happen? And we have seen that something might be happening very soon. And here we have an article from our friends over at That Pod Place, written by John F. Trent, the editor-in-chief over there, who's rumor Henry Cavill in talks to play Wolverine after cameo as the Cavalrine in Deadpool and Wolverine. And there you have a picture of what he looked like. My word. I mean, he looks
You're right over there, Marv.
No, yeah, look, I'm not gonna lie, he's a gorgeous man. That's his, I could say that because I'm secure in my masculinity.
That's right.
A new rumor claims that Henry Cavill is in talks to play Wolverine in the Marvel Cinematic Universe moving forward. His cameo as the Cavalrine, moving forward after following his cameo as the Cavalrine in Deadpool and Wolverine. In the cameo, Deadpool approaches him from behind as he's working on his motorcycle. When he turns around, Deadpool exclaims, "The Cavalrine, the legends are true. And may I say, sir, on behalf of all humanity, that this just feels right. We will treat you so much better than those blank blanks down the street." The Cavalrine responds, "You were just leaving." And he then deploys his claws in a similar fashion to his fist cocking in Mission Impossible. Right? Oh, it was so good.
I caught that right away.
That was so good. And he sends Deadpool back through the TVA portal. Cavill also recently shared a photo from the scene and took a shot at DC editing out his Mission Impossible mustache while doing reshoots for Justice League. He wrote, "To be safe, I shaved the mustache off for this one. Just the mustache."
What's funny is, like, with Henry Cavill, I feel like he's very polite. Like, I've never really heard him
say a proper
anything.
British gentleman.
He is. And that's kind of as far as that dig will go, but because I know that, I'm like, oh, you got him to say that, you know what I mean?
Exactly. It's as close as he's going to come to taking a shot.
Yeah.
Following this cameo in Cavill's Instagram post, Matt McGloin at Cosmic Book News reports that his Marvel insiders have informed him that Cavill might be up to play the character full-time in the MCU. He added, "Henry Cavill actually might be in talks to play the MCU's Wolverine. I hear similar to what he wanted for a return as Superman. He is asking for a lot of money to play Wolverine." As he should.
Probably, because he's probably like, I get fired, I get lied to, honestly, normally when
Disney Disney is in a post Endgame world. Disney Marvel is the last company that I'm trusting with this, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm a born cynic and skeptic, so there's a part of me
that's why you're on the show.
Yeah, so there's a part of me that looks at this and goes, "You're just using him." You know what I mean? Like, you just want to get buzz out there, and then you have absolutely no real intention of using him, because for as much as he's been kicked around by the studios, fans love him. And so they know very popular fans will flock to it, and fans, they want to support him. I think they want him to do well. And so I feel like my cynical nature is like, oh, they're going to prey on that, and they're going to let you think that he's got a chance to be it. I mean, I hope so. I legitimately want him to have all the opportunity in the world, because he's more than earned it. But it's just, I don't know. I just want him around.
I just want him to have his, like, similar to how when Ryan Reynolds got Deadpool and everybody was like, good for you. You clearly care. You're clearly a fan. Yeah. And we all feel sorry for what happened to you the first time you played Deadpool and when you played Green Lantern. So let's see this work. I think Henry Cavill's kind of in that same boat now. But speaking of people that I don't trust, Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige addressed the status of Wolverine in the Marvel Cinematic Universe ahead of the release of Deadpool and Wolverine time, discussing film. Marvel is celebrating its 85th anniversary later this summer. That's just the first 85 years, and Disney just celebrated 100 years as well. I think these characters will be around for another 100 years, long after all of us. So for sure, there will be eventually another actor as Wolverine. I think it will be a very different style and in a different way. I also think if somebody were to attempt to do a Hugh Jackman as Wolverine impression, that would be a pretty big mistake. Feige also stated, oh, look at that handsome devil over there on the right. Oh, hello, sailor.
So distracting.
I know. Kevin Feige also stated that Marvel Studios has no immediate plans to replace Hugh Jackman, who returned as the character for Deadpool and Wolverine. As comic readers know, there have been various and very, very different versions of the character over the decades. It'd be fun to explore different ones someday down the line. Again, we don't have any immediate plans. We don't have any immediate plans by any means, but in the decades to come, I think it's inevitable. If that happens, it would have to be a very different and bold reinterpretation of the character, because no one will be as great as Hugh Jackman doing his version of Wolverine. So there you have it. Very nondescript. But this is the rumor that the Cavill may rise again. And I think that it's possible that this cameo by Cavill might have just been them testing the waters out to see what the reaction was.
I mean, clearly to some degree someone reached out. It could have been Ryan Reynolds for all I know, but somebody was clearly like, he's gotten kicked around, and everybody knows he's gotten kicked around, so let's just like throw that in there and be like,
now our good friend Kevin Apollo is not here tonight, so I'm gonna be him for a second and just be a lot bigger and blacker. And I'm gonna make the comment that he would make if he was here. Henry Cavill is entirely too large of a human being to play Wolverine.
That I did notice, like straight away when it started, I was like, he looks massive. He just looked massive on the screen.
Like Wolverine is supposed to be under 6 feet tall. I mean, not they did like a comic book accurate size Wolverine in the movie, and it was really funny. It was like 5'3", but
me sized.
Yeah, like it was really funny. But yeah, and Hugh Jackman is not a small man, but Henry Cavill dwarfs him. Henry Cavill is Superman sized. He's a full man sized man. And,
I mean, he's honestly physically maybe a little too big. I don't know, but the closest thing I feel like I've seen to what Superman classically looks like. So it's kind of hard when you go, oh, well, you know how he look. It's like I look at him, I'm just like, still, he looks like Superman though. At the same time, you know.
Yeah, no,
it's kind of hard for me to mentally break out of it.
I heard a story one time. Kevin actually told me this story that he knew somebody that was who was training Henry Cavill, or he heard a story from somebody who heard some whatever
down the line.
Henry Cavill's personal trainer was training him, and he's sitting there doing squats, and he gets down with a really heavy weight, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna have to go spot him. There's no way he's gonna be able to get this. And all of a sudden, he just heard, "I'm Superman. I'm Superman. I'm Superman." And he like exploded up with it. And I was just like, okay, that makes me love this man.
It's like, on the one hand, you're like, that's so corny. And then on the other hand, I'm like, that's why it's amazing. Because it's just like, you know, if I was Superman, I would say no, you know?
Of course. And if you're a Superman fan and you know that by lifting this weight, you are going to get your body ready to be Superman, I mean, that's everything that you need.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Do you want to see the return of the Cavill? Please sound off in the comments and let us know. You all know my opinions on Zack Snyder and the Snyderverse. I think the man is a talentless hack, and I think the universe that he created is a perversion and an insult to every longtime DC fan, and neither should ever be seen on television or movie screens ever again. However, I have always said that I thought Henry Cavill had it in him to be the definitive Superman with a competent director and script. But with DC tossing him to the curb, their loss could be Marvel's gain. Thanks for joining us today, and I hope you'll join us for Tooney Talk TV Thursday nights at 8 p.m. EST. It's a live stream pop culture podcast and a great way to make your voices heard as a part of the Tooneytown community. If you liked what you saw here today, please like, share, and subscribe. Click the bell icon to get notified of new videos as they drop. From all of us here at the Tooneytown channels, I'm Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here!